Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with the second type of numericals in AC analysis. In the last video, or I would say in the last lecture, we did cover up the topic on AC analysis with normal when your RE was bypassed, when your RE was unbypassed. Today we are going to see a little bit of more modifications in the same kind of numerical. So yes, the diagram remains the same as for the previous question. Now just to give you a gist, this was the question or the numerical that we were focusing on in the last video, in the last lecture I would say. Now the same kind of numerical but with some different kind of expectations over here is being asked. Now for the previous problem, calculate your AVS without load and AIS. That means without load, that means your RL is not connected and your AC equivalent circuit will be looking something like this, in which you will be having, as I said, if your RE is bypassed, you will have 1, 2, 3 lines over here. Then you will be having RPi, or another name of RPi is nothing but HIE. यहाँ पे आपका RB आएगा, and then you have an RS over here. The voltage across RPi or HI is given by VI. The voltage across VI is given, the voltage across RB is given as VI, and the voltage across the entire input network is given by Vs. Wherein over here in the input section, the current source which is being given by GMVpi or HFEIB. Generally, when you are using 3 lines wala diagram, go for HFEIB because it gives you a clear-cut idea. Since the output resistance, that is nothing but RL, is not present over here, the output current, that is nothing but IO or IC, will be flowing to your output resistor RC. Now your output current will be flowing in this downward directions. So yes, your output current flows from नीचे से ऊपर, but we take your voltage generally from ऊपर से नीचे, the general connections. Hence your VO के साथ there will be negative sign over here. Now the impedance is ZB will be nothing but RPi, your ZI will be nothing but RB parallel ZI, RB parallel ZB, or and यहाँ पे your Zin will be nothing but RS plus your ZI, since RS is in series with this entire parallel connection over here. Now your AVS is given by VO by VS. Now this VO by VS can be split up into VO by VI into VI by VS, wherein your VO is given by minus HFEIB into RC. Your VI, that is nothing but input, is given by IB into HIE, since voltage VI over here is nothing but IB into HIE, into your ZI by Zn. Your VI by VS is replaced by ZI by Zn over here. So now when you substitute the values over here, you have a certain value for AVS which is equals to minus 135.12. There will always be a minus sign with the voltage gain over here in CE configuration, since the input and the output both are out of phase. Now this was the answer which was received without your RL over here. So yes, in the previous video, or in the previous lecture, we had AVS, which was the value of AVS over here was nothing but minus 97.19. This was by considering the load resistance also into the circuit diagram. Then over here, this was the value. Over here, this AVS is equals to minus 135.2. The incremented value is because we didn't have an RL into the circuit diagram. So what do we have in conclusion over here? Let's see. Conclusion for AVS, that is with load, it is given by minus HFE into RC parallel RL upon HIE, the value of which was minus 97.19, and without load it was given as minus HFE RC upon HI, the value of which is given by minus 135.12 over here. Now which was particularly large considered to the one without load over here. This was with load, this was without load. So yes, considering both the effects into consideration, with load, the value of your voltage gain with source is less compared to the one which in which there is no load into consideration. Now we need to find out AVS and AIS over here. So yes, your AIS is given by a certain formula over here. Now AIS, the voltage gain with RL connected is less than without RL. This is due to loading effect. Now what is loading effect? I'll let you know in some time, don't worry about it. Now AIS is equals to IO by IS, which is equals to VO by VS into RS by RC over here. In short, it is nothing but output current VO by RC, and this is your input current, that is nothing but VS by RS over here, which is equals to mod of AVS into RS by RC, so which is equals to the value 36.87 over here. The same problem, now what you have been told that you have to calculate your AVS in problem 1 if your RE is unbypassed. Now when your RE is unbypassed, that means you have to ask yourself those two questions. First question, is emitter connected to ground for AC, or is RE bypassed? If the answer is no in any of the case, then you need to draw 4 lines as we had discussed over here in the previous lecture, that 1, 2, 3 and 4 over here. You'll start your journey from this. In order to get the ZB over here, the first input impedance ZB, you start your journey from this point. You will use the Gauss method. Then you start the journey from this point, and you'll go up till the zeroth or the ground level. Then since you have received the ground level, you will return back and you will pick up the resistance whichever is on the path, and you will multiply it by a certain term called as 1 plus beta over here, and you will connect it in series with HIE, or in another words, HI is also known as R pi over here. Now, since as we said that we have been told that if RE is unbypassed, that means since CE is absent, RE we should draw 4 lines over here. Now, your ZB over here is given by HIE plus 1 plus HFE into RE, which is nothing. HI is nothing but your R pi plus 1 plus beta into RE. So substituting the value, R pi ka value is 0.98 plus 1 plus HFE. HFE is nothing but your beta. So it is nothing but 1 plus 100 into your RE, that is nothing but 0.75, the whole value into K. So the value that you receive over here is nothing but 76.73 kilo ohms. Now the value of Zi is nothing but RS parallel ZB, which is equals to 12.95 parallel 76.73. The value will be nothing but chote se bhi chota. Since here the smaller number is 12.95, the resultant will be lesser than that. The resultant is but of course 11.07 kilo ohms. Zin is given as RS plus Zi, which is equals to 11.67 kilo ohms. Now the value of AVS over here, AVS is given by VO by VI into VI by VS. As you should be aware by now that VO is nothing but minus HFE IB into Z0 dash, output impedance into output current upon input impedance into input current. That is nothing but your IB will get cancelled out, and the only remaining term will be minus HFE into Z0 dash upon ZB into Zi by Zin over here. So the value will be nothing but minus 100 into 1.57 upon 76.73. 76.73 into 11.07 upon 11.67. The value of AVS is reduced to 1.94. Please do remember that in the previous case, when your RE was present, the value you had received, I'll show you, the value which you had received was when your RE was bypassed, you received a value was minus 97.19, which was but of course very high compared to when your RE was unbypassed, the value which you received it as minus 1.94. The gain with RE unbypassed is very low because your RE is since your RE is unbypassed, there exists an AC negative voltage drop across it. Since it provides AC negative, it provides your AC negative feedback, which reduces the gain drastically. So yes, you need to bypass your RE over here. Every time whenever you design an amplifier, you need to bypass your RE so that your AC gain increases tremendously. Now let us see some other factors also. Now the input resistance at base over here, it is given by ZB. Now when your RE was bypassed, it was given by the value HIE. HI is nothing but R pi over here, which is nothing but 0.98 kilo ohms. So but of course it is very much lower in number when you did RE was unbypassed. So it was HI, or HI is nothing but R pi plus 1 plus HFE or 1 plus beta RE, which is equals to 76.73 kilo ohms, which is but of course very high. Now since the input resistance with RE unbypassed is high, because RE gets reflected on the base side whenever you are having RE unbypassed, then the some part of RE is reflected back in this formula over here. Hence your input resistance is very high. Since the input resistance is high, loading effect reduces. Now loading effect means what? That means whenever you have suppose you have a bigger pipe of diameter say 100 mm and you want to supply it to another pipe which is of 5 mm. So can I say there will be an impedance mismatching? So because of that, what will happen is the 5 mm diameter pipe will put an will load the 100 mm diameter pipe, because it is not able to take that much input. So in that case we say that the 100 mm diameter pipe is loaded by the 5 mm diameter pipe. Now let us take a note over here that with RE unbypassed, so input resistance, that is nothing but your ZB, increases. But of course it is very much required that whenever you want any amplifier to design, you don't want even a small impedance, you don't want even a small current to make your transistor turn on. You need a sufficient amount of voltage so that your transistor remains in the active region for a sufficient amount of time. Now this reduces the loading, good, yummy, but unfortunately it reduces the gain drastically. So to have a solution between to have in between solution, RE is splitted up in two parts, RE1 and RE2, and only one part is bypassed. Such amplifiers are known as partially bypassed or swamped amplifier. Now the problem over here shows the diagram over here that we are going to discuss now is having a swamped amplifier. It is nothing but a swamped amplifier. Now what do we mean by a swamped amplifier is that your RE over here will be split up into two parts, RE1 and RE2. So for the problem shown, for the amplifier shown, we need to calculate your AVS. So the problem on the swamped amplifier, here your RE1 is nothing but acting as a swamping resistor. Now the diagram is quite simple in nature. You have a CE configuration. This is nothing but a mother circuit with RE being split up into two parts. One of them is unbypassed, one of them is bypassed over here. This one is CE over here. Now you have a load resistor over here. So yes, your now what will be the changes? Let's see beta. Now we need to first do the DC analysis. Since you have mother circuit, you need Maa Ka Ashirwad. So first of all, we open all capacitors and short all AC sources. Now when the CE is open, when this part is open, RE1 and RE2 will come in series. That is nothing but RE1. RE is nothing but RE1 plus RE2, which is equals to 750 ohms or 0.75 kilo ohms. Now therefore the DC analysis, same problem, that is DC analysis same as the one which we had done in the previous first numerical. Now when your AC analysis is somewhat very much simpler over here. Your AC analysis is shorting all capacitors and DC sources, that is nothing but your VCC. When your CE gets shorted over here, when your CE, that is this one, gets shorted over here, your RE2 is shorted, but your RE1 remains in the circuit. Since RE1, that is nothing but this resistor, remains in the circuit, your emitter is not connected to ground directly. Hence your hence there will be 4 lines over here, and the 4 lines will be quite similar one as we had done in the previous one. So yes, this is very much simpler in nature. Now over here, as you can see, there is ZB, ZI, Zin, and then over here we have ZO and ZO dash over here. Since your load resistance is present into the circuit, you will be having ZO dash. Now since you have load resistance over here, there will be an output current flowing through that is nothing but IO from niche se upar, but we measure our voltage from upar se niche. Hence your VO will have negative sign, that is nothing but your gain will have a negative sign into consideration. Now we'll just proceed with the analysis. It's very much simple compared to the ones which we have done. Now your ZB is nothing but R pi plus 1 plus beta into RE1. This HI is nothing but R pi, and this HFE is nothing but beta over here. So it is nothing but R pi plus 1 plus beta into RE1. So it is nothing but 0.98 plus 101 in 100 plus 1 is 101 into 0.1, that is nothing but your RE. All of these values are in kilo ohms. Hence your 100 ohms resistor is written as 0.1, which is equals to 11.8 kilo ohms. Now your ZI is equals to RB parallel ZB, which is equals to 12.95 parallel 11.08 kilo ohms. Now the value will be, but of course छोटे से भी छोटा, hence your Zn का value will be Rs plus Zi, which is equals to 0.6k plus 5.97k. Hence your Zi will be your Zi will be your Zin will be 6.57 kilo ohms over here. Your ZO is nothing but RC, therefore your ZO is nothing but 2.2 kilo ohms. Your ZO dash is nothing but RC parallel RL, which is equals to 1.57 kilo ohms. Your AVS is given by minus HFE IB ZO dash upon IB ZB. Your IB gets cancelled over here. The one which is left out is nothing but minus HFE into ZO dash upon ZB into ZI by Zin. So your AVS is given by minus 100 into 1.57 upon 11.08 into 0.91 into 1.51, which is the final value, which turns out to be minus 8.53. Again, you can look over here that the value of gain has reduced drastically. So there will be, a trade-off now that we have to consider. Now, we can come up to a conclusion that first of all, when there is there are three important considerations that we need to discuss. First is with RE bypass, with RE partial bypass, and with RE unbypass. Now, what happens to ZB is when your RE is bypassed, it is 0.98K. When your RE is partial bypass, the value is 11.08K, and when your RE is unbypassed, the value is 76.73 kilo ohms. Now, whenever you are designing a transistor, always remember that you need to design in such a way that your input resistance should be as high as possible, but not infinite. I would say it should be a good amount. Now, voltage gain AVS, if when your RE is bypass, it is a value having 97.19. When your RE is partially bypass, it is having a value 8.53, and when your RE is unbypassed, the value is reduced to 1.94. So here we got an in-between solution over here. If you can see over here, we wanted the input resistance to be high a little bit, but we also expected a gain. Now, so when you are performing a partial bypass, then a trade-off is being expected over here. Now, loading effect is reduced to certain extent without very high reduction in gain. Now, we'll proceed for the next set of numerical. Just give me a moment. Okay, so that was all for common emitter configuration. In the next part, we'll start with AC analysis of CS, that is nothing but common source in JFET amplifier. Up till then, thank you beta.